What is up, guys? It's Nathan here, coming at you with a video today on Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty. And just some housekeeping stuff real fast. The reason it sounds like I'm talking through like a tin can or something is because I got this lovely $20 Walmart mic. Right? Why I'm not using my Astro A40 mic, you might ask? Right here, as we can see. I'm not using that because 3.5 millimeter jack on my actual desktop is like fried. Every time I try to use that mic, it actually sounds like there's an airplane running in the background. Okay, like it's trash. This is the best I can do right now. Webcam mic sounds absolutely atrocious, so boom, we're sticking with the great value mic today. And I have no ceiling. There's that. You can see my light fixture. There isn't one. You probably can't see that. But it's just light bulbs, okay? Like this is... What have I done? Okay, there we go. Mic is this close, or the webcam is this close, simply because... Okay, watch this. Ready? Ready? I'm going to move back, and the PowerPoint begins. Okay, so I gotta be like all up here for it to actually like be HD or whatever. Okay, so let's get down to business about this video, you know, about Starcraft and stuff. Basically, I'm gonna be jumping into a custom game versus an AI opponent, and I'm just gonna show basic mechanics for a player who's just jumping into multiplayer. Now, you might be a player who has just picked up Starcraft 2. You just dominated the campaign, like absolutely wrecked it. Casual did not know what's coming. GG. And now you're looking to jump into multiplayer, which is a very common thing. People coming out of campaign is probably about 85% of people. So that's the main audience here today, is that. Also, there may be, actually most of these tips are probably really good for bronze and silver players who are looking just for a little something to better their game. And these are very basic, very structural things that will make you better at StarCraft 2. 1v1 laddering and yo. So, basically, before we jump into the game, I just want to touch on probably the most important, I have my notes over here. I'm gonna keep looking over here at them. Okay. Basically, a very important idea or concept is StarCraft 2 in regards to speed. Now, being fast, it goes on two levels. There's a large scale where you need to be fast, and then a very smaller scale where you need to be fast. Now, what I mean by that is, smaller scale wise, you want to be... I'm gonna mix these up. I know it. Smaller scale, you want to be fast, like moving fast. You want to be going from building to building fast. You want to be quick with your movements and everything that you do, all the actions that you perform. But also the most important one is a large scale. Now what I mean by this is like in-game time-wise, you want to be fast. Now, for example, any player from the top of Grandmaster number 1, okay, the best of the best, down to the worst, bottom of bronze, okay, we're talking like rank 100. Both of these players at these points can get, for example, a max 200 out of 200 supply Terran army, okay? And I'm actually going to be using Terran as an example since, you know, most people are comfortable with Terran coming out of the campaign. Both players at the highest and the lowest level can get a max supply army. The difference is, whereas the bronze player will spend, you know, maybe 45 minutes to an hour in a custom game and finally get that max supply cap, a Grandmaster player will be able to get a maxed army right about anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes, depending on how greedy they play. And basically, that comes down to how fast you can get your timings down. Because, like, the bronze player will sit in there and, oh, I'm going to go over here and build a building, and then I'm going to go over here and build a building like 5 minutes later. Whereas the Grandmaster's timings for his buildings and SCV production and mineral usage and macro and micro are far superior. And I'm gonna touch on every single one of those things later in the video, but I just wanted to touch on this very general idea of being quick with everything that you have, both on a large scale with how quickly you get things out, and on a lower scale, like a smaller scale, in regards to how quickly you actually move within the game. So, since I am so prepared, let's jump over to the Starcraft screen. Get in Starcraft. And let's make a lobby here, Ohana, because I like the name. So yeah, we're going to go with that. And like I said, I'm going to be Terran. I'll put it on very easy just so I don't have to run into any problems at all. I can take my sweet time. And if you did not know, ladder 1v1 games, go at the faster speed. So whenever you practice, you always want to put it to faster. And if you put it to fast, then you can actually hit the number pad plus key in game, and it will actually speed it up. And you can also hit the minus key on number pad; it will slow it down. So yes, that is it. And as we jump into this game, I just want to touch on something extremely specific right away that I see many people do wrong. Even like some of my friends that I play with, they will perform this incorrectly, and is how to first begin a game. Once that loading screen pops, you're in the game. What do? And like I said, I see so many people do this incorrectly. I'm going to be doing it really slow. It will not. Hang on. I just realized my lamp is melting itself. Hang on. Oh God. Oh. Hang on 1 second. We're gonna take our time. Okay, got it. Okay, so we pop into the game here. What am I gonna do first? I'm gonna click on my command center, Nexus, hatchery, whatever it is. I'm gonna make a worker, immediately get my workers, and move them to the mineral line, in that order. It maximizes the production, and immediately after building, queuing up your production, you want to set a rally point to the mineral line, and once that SCV spawns, you will get immediately on there. Now, let's talk about probably the most important thing when becoming good at Starcraft. Now, Starcraft is a game where you cannot just use your mouse. I know a lot of players starting out, they will see the buildings in the bottom right here. You know what? I'm gonna go to. Here we go. Boom. This actually may not be in the most optimal position. Let's put it here. Okay. So I see most people. They see here. Okay. They're like, okay, there's the stuff. Let me click on it. Boom. Okay. That's no good. Okay. To start out, it's probably required that you do something to that effect. But if you'll notice with me here, it says train. Oh, you can't see that. I done goofed. Okay, so here we are in the game. I'm actually going to slow this down just so I don't get.
SCV ready.
Who am I kidding? It's very easy. As you can see here, it says train SCV S. Now, what that S is a hotkey. Okay. It means that if you press S on your keyboard, boom, it's the same thing as clicking it, okay? Now, even more important than units, well, they're equally important. Units and buildings are equally important. Now, you click on your worker here, and basically, I'm sure most of you people are used to clicking on build structure and then finding the building that you need to put down. Now, if you look with me, as it said with SCVs, you can see here that next to Build Command Center, it says C, okay? And that is the hotkey for that. So, if I were to click on my unit, on my worker, whichever race you are, it doesn't matter, hit B, C, boom, Command Center, okay? Now, learning all of these hotkeys is extremely crucial to being quick at the game, which, as I said in the beginning, is extremely important. So, this is probably one of the the number one thing you should probably focus on when first starting is learning all of the hotkeys for each and every building that you have. Now to get to second tier, it's V, as in Voyboy. But just learn the B buildings for now. Now you got your main ones like barracks is B, supply depot is S. You're gonna use that a lot. So say I'm like getting supply blocked. I'm coming up to 11 of 11 supply, and that is something you do not want to do, is get supply blocked, because then you'll lose production for a good long time. Okay. So basically, I'm getting supply blocked. Oh no! Quickly, BS, boom, supply depot. Okay. So learning hotkeys. Does this sound too loud? I think the sound might be too loud. Turning it down. We don't need it that loud anyway. Okay. That should be a little better. So,
We hear you.
okay, let me gather my thoughts. So, hotkeys. Learn what buildings are what key, and be sure to use the keyboard. If you do not use the keyboard, I'm just like looking random places, and then okay. Learn what buildings are what keys, because using the keyboard, believe it or not, will increase your speed. Imagine that. Crazy, right? Boom, you're Grandmaster just like that. Use the keyboard, build, and then B for barracks, for example. Now when you actually, just like the command center, when you build a production facility, like a barracks, for example, will build your infantry units, and a factory, for example, will build all of your mechanical units, your vehicles, and then, for example, for Terran, a starport will build all your air units. Those all have hotkeys for all of the units. For example, a marine is A. So if you click on your barracks and press A, then you'll build a marine. Imagine that. So, hotkeys. I know a lot of people stick to just clicking on the individual things. Don't do that. Learn to use the keyboard. And right along with that is the concept of control groups. I know a lot of people don't use this either, so boom, here you go, control groups. Now, this is on my other account, so I don't quite have the hotkeys set. Basically, the concept of control groups is that you can select a group of units or a group of buildings, or one building, or whatever, and you can hit Control 1 through 0, so Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, and it will make it a control group. And whenever you hit that button, it will select it wherever you are on the map. Let me show you what I mean here. So, I'm here on my command center, and I set it to Control 5. That's just how I play. So Control 5, and you can see down here, it's set it there. So when I'm across the map here, when I'm moving units out, whatever, boom, gotta go scout, etc. I can hit 5, and look, it brings it up, and queue up an SCV. That's just something I can do with control groups. Now I can set this SCV to 1. So, and when you double tap the control group, it'll bring you to wherever that is, okay? Double tap 1, and it brings me to this SCV. That's control groups for you. And the importance of this is that, say, here, let me start building a barracks first.
Big job, huh?
We'll make this one the new one, and just overwrite it by Control 1, Control 2, Control 3. So basically, we'll be moving down here. We want to go take Zelnaga Tower Presence, which actually gives you vision of an area. You probably know that. And this is something I'm going to be talking about later, which is macro and micro. But basically, I'll be attacking. Pretend this is like 20 Marines or something. Okay. I'm attacking with my SCV. Blah blah blah. Attacking, and I need to keep building workers. Like, that's crucial. So I can hit 5 without going there, without even looking at my main base, and boom, SCV, go back, keep fighting. I can look back and see if it's almost done. That's something very important too, that I know a lot of people don't do, is it's bad to have units queued up. Okay? Should I talk about this yet? I'm just kind of jumping from thing to thing. it's bad to have units queued up, at least as Terran. Protoss and Zerg are extremely different races, which I will probably touch on later at some point, because the mechanics of each are extremely different. But Terran is the race. I'm going to set this control group 3.
SCV ready.
Build a Marine. Terran is the race where you build production buildings, and then you build units out of it, and it takes a certain amount of time to build. That's it. Zerg and Protoss have more instant ways of getting units, or at least Protoss does. Zerg, like I said, I won't get into it. So, it's important that you constantly have production on your buildings, but you don't want things queued up. Let me explain why. Say, for example, I queue up 5 Marines, okay? Now, at this very point, oops, cancel it. This is 200 minerals that could be used elsewhere. It's 200 wasted minerals at this point, okay? It's not economic to do something like this. Same with your command center. If you have 5 SCVs queued up, this is 200 minerals that can be used elsewhere to maybe add on another barracks or something. So say if I had 1 SCV producing, I can build another barracks. Boom, have another SCV going. I don't lose out economically. So I have one Marine working, boom. I queue up the next one right as it's about to finish. So say I'm out attacking, I check, boom.
Additional supply depots.
And now I'm supply blocked, which I told you not to do. I got so caught up in explaining. So I'm out here, I go to my barracks, oh, this Marine's almost done, boom. And again, you don't actually have to go to the actual production facility. You can just look at it, and queue up another SCV and keep going here. Queue up another Marine, go over here. Okay, so let me actually build some more splashes.
Our SCVs are under attack.
And it looks like he's moving out here. A couple of Marines. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill him. But okay. So oops. So that is control groups. That's how you're able to perform actions around here and still be able to keep up with your worker production and your unit production back at base, which is something that is extremely important, especially with workers. Okay, now, okay, that guy's gonna die. So this is an extremely important concept: is the constant production of SCVs. Now each row is 8. So if you want to know how many SCVs you have on this mineral patch, just box it, and 8, 16. Now perfect saturation for an 8 mineral patch base, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is 24. It takes 3 workers to fully saturate 1 mineral patch. So 8 times 3, 24. And what that is 2 full roll, or 3 full rows, a full tab. That is your saturation. Which leads me to another concept, which is adding units or buildings to an existing selection. Okay, so say for example I have these 4 Marines selected. Okay, I have these 4. They're control group 1, as you can see here. Now I want to add these 2 Marines to control group 1. Now how do I do that without moving over here and then boxing them all up and making that control group 1? How do I do that? What you do, shift is the magic key that makes it all happen. You want to select these units, hold down shift, box them up, control 1, and you have a new control group. Let me make sure I keep producing things.
Bad news.
The same goes with buildings. This is my control group 3, right? My 1 barracks. I want to add this barracks on to my control group 3. So I click on 3, or I could be out here. I click on 3, get back, hold down shift, click or box it or whatever, and then control 3. And it is now part of my control group 3, and I can start building Marines. And you can see down here, I keep pointing, and like you guys can see, as you can see, I have a Marine queued up on each one. Boom. 1, shift. Oh, that was a terrible box. Control 1. I have a new control group 1. Boom. That's the beauty. And I go to 3. Boom. More Marines. Okay. So that is control groups. Yes. Okay. Now, onto the topic of macro and micro. Now, these are terms that are thrown around very loosely in the Starcraft community. Un momento, por favor. I'm actually on 0 hours of sleep. I've been going to sleep at around 6 or 7 in the morning, and over Thanksgiving break I became this way, and I've been waking up at 5:30 or 6 at night. So once classes resumed, it was kind of difficult to carry on the schedule. So last night I stayed up all night, and now the quest is to stay up. I'm shooting for 8 o'clock tonight, where I can go to bed again and hopefully get get that whole thing on schedule. So I'm a little fatigued, to say the least. Okay, macro and micro. So, as I was saying, these terms are thrown around a lot in the StarCraft community. Now, some people don't even know what they mean, and that's what I'm here to tell you, is what they mean. Macro is I was kind of showing it earlier when I was bringing my, let me get back to StarCraft. When I was, you know what, I'm going to actually turn sound off, just to make sure that I don't want it to be overpowering this whole time. I was showing it earlier when I had my SCV down this way, and I was moving it, and I clicked on my command center and built an SCV while I was still watching here and controlling this unit. Now, okay, let me give you the base. Dang, I've been on that this whole time too. Cool. Let me give you the base definition for macro and micro in regards to StarCraft 2. Macro is the overall. You think I like wrote this down before or something. Your ability to macro is your ability to continue unit production, building production, and upgrades. That's way too specific, but it's your ability to continue strengthening your force and the strength of those strengthen the strength of those forces via upgrades. Continue to build workers without fault. Okay, so like. So basically, what I'm trying to say is macro. I have a thought, and then I just can't express it. Okay, it comes back to the whole thing of speed. Your ability to continually build enough buildings, an expansion maybe, upgrades for your units, and continue to build units is macro. Now, a sign of poor macro would be extremely high minerals, like I have in this game. As you can tell, let me go to this scene. As you can tell, I have 4,000 minerals. That's bad. Okay, a sign of good macro would be low minerals, which is, you know, building lots of buildings. If you need more money, then you can take an expansion, and continuing to add on production facilities like more barracks to produce more units at a time, and also teching, or advancing your technology, which is done by continually building the higher buildings. For example, factory will continue your tech, followed by Stargate, followed by these two, which is an armory and a fusion core, which will actually make available to you more options to build. So that is macro. I know it isn't the greatest definition. Maybe you can specifically look something up to define macro for you. But maybe if I describe to you what micro is, that'll help out. Micro is your ability to control specific units on the game. So we have a very large-scale ability to manage your economy. Why didn't I say that like 10 minutes ago? Your ability to manage your economy effectively, which is shown by low mineral count, making sure you spend everything, which the whole not queuing up like 5 units, not queuing up 5 SCVs, and spending that 200 minerals on an extra barracks and an extra marine somewhere. That's macro. Being able to effectively use your minerals and gas without suffering economically, whereas micro is your ability to control specific units. Let me show you what I mean. Here are my Marines. Hurrah. Okay. Now, micro is the ability to control these specific units. Say, for example, a Zerg is coming at me with Banelings, which are extremely effective against Marines. Now, they have to actually get in melee range and do AoE splash damage on whatever they hit. So, micro would be, as an example, would be splitting up my Marines so that the Baneling hit on this main force will not be as effective as it hits only a few of my units. Actually, it's most of my units, but it doesn't hit these 6 units. Micro is your ability to control units. For example, a Protoss unit, the Stalker, can get an upgrade from the Twilight Council called Blink, and it allows it to flash a certain distance. And basically, what you see people do is they'll just get in a straight up engagement with their enemy, and maybe it'll be Stalkers versus the Zerg unit Roaches, which are pretty much equivalent to Stalkers. They're about mid-range ranged units. What you'll see the Protoss do is when a unit gets weak in the front line, they'll blink it behind their enemy. Say here's my enemy right here, and blah blah blah, we're attacking, fighting. The enemy is gonna be focusing your front units. And I should probably be showing an example of this, but just imagine they're Stalkers. I'm sure I'm sure you know what Stalkers are via the campaign. Duh. These front units will be, and oh my gosh, the Zeratul mission where you get the Stalkers and you blink and stuff. Everyone knows what blink is. I'm so good at this. Anyway, so they'll use the blink ability, which everyone actually knows, and I'm just an idiot, to blink back in the back line and then bring them forward again. So it's kind of like, okay, never mind, it's not like that at all. They're bringing the front line, okay, they're bringing the front line back, and the back line becomes the front line, making it stronger. Just the ability to control your units effectively is micro. Bad micro is shown by just attacking. Just auto-attacking. Or not auto-attacking, this isn't League, who am I? Just by attacking a unit and then just sitting there and just watching it. Whereas for range units, you can do a kiting method, which is actually a pretty famous method across a broad scope of games. But is very effective in Starcraft with range units. For example, say these rocks are my arch nemesis, my enemy units. What I can do to increase the efficiency of my units, say the enemy's base is this way, okay, and I'm approaching from this way. What I can do is I'm gonna move and then attack, move and then attack. So I'll be progressing towards the enemy base while still dealing damage to the enemy units. Check it out. This whole time, you can see the Marines are attacking. The HP is going down. I'm that much closer to his base, effectively maximizing the efficiency of that. So that is macro and micro. Hopefully I explained it efficiently and you're not even more confused than you were before. But those are those terms, in case you have heard it tossed around somewhere. Now you'll sound like a pro when you can use those terms. Okay. Okay. We touched the important parts like hotkeys, control groups. I forgot something. I'm actually not too good at this yet. I haven't learned how to incorporate this into my play, but there's such thing as camera hotkeys, or camera control groups, kind of. You can think about it like camera control groups. Let me go here to global, and then it's camera. Here we go. Now default it's control F5 or F5 through F8 to set the camera locations. It's control F5 through F8, F8 by default, and then when you press F5 through F8, it jumps to that location. And basically what it is it's pretty much the same as a control group, except instead of pressing your control group button and it's selecting the building, like, I keep pointing. Okay, instead of actually selecting the control group, or the building, whatever you have, the units, for action, you just jump to a certain location. For example, I'm gonna have my command center centered on the screen. I'm gonna hit Control F5, which is what it is by default. And basically, when I'm around the map and I hit F5, it'll bring me back to this location. It won't actually select anything, but my camera will go back to the place where it was captured, or set to. And basically this is good for, say you're over here, you wanna build a supply depot down here, or right here, to give you vision. You can click on it, and instead of dragging back and clicking the mineral line, or shift clicking the mineral line, which will bring, did I explain that? Shift, like, if you press shift, I explained the whole adding units to selection, but if you actually hold shift and then click, you can give several commands. For example, maybe I want to start taking this expansion here. It's usually standard to take out these rocks for better movement in between your bases, right about here. So basically I can tell my Marines to attack this, hold down shift, attack move here, to make sure they don't run into any trouble in the way, and then shift, take the Zelnaga tower. So basically what will happen is they will destroy these rocks very slowly. And after they destroy these rocks, they will make their way down and attack. Here they go. They will attack move, which means that once they spot an enemy unit, they will begin engaging it. And then they will take the Zelnaga tower. So hold down shift to give multiple commands to your units. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, usually when you're going to build a structure away, like far away from your command center, hatchery, nexus, whatever, typically you're going to go back and shift click them to the mineral line. That's standard. So once they're done with this, they'll go back. Oops. Now, instead of that, with camera control groups, I can build the supply depot, hit F5, shift click. Now, when you do that fast, it actually saves a lot of time. Instead of dragging, which is really painful and annoying. Oh God, Hellions. So instead of, like I said, dragging and scrolling, which is extremely obnoxiously long, F5, mineral patch. I keep forgetting to hit shift. But that is the beauty of camera locations. And say once you get your natural expansion, this is what this is called because it's the most natural of expansions. This is called your natural. Once you take that, or you can just go over here, even before you drop a command center, Control F6. You can go back and forth in between those. So that is all of your hotkeys. I know or your control groups. I kind of jumped in between unit building control groups and camera groups, but that is that. Okay, I've covered macro and micro. I've kind of Let me specify this because this is extremely important. I said earlier that good macro is evident by very low resource. It means you're spending your money. I think this guy's on follow command. It means you're spending your money and you're spending it quickly and very efficiently. So basically, it could not be worse to have 9,000 minerals right now. So make sure that you're spending your minerals. Try not to get too high. If you're getting too high, it's probably a sign that you need... What was that? Oh, sick drop! Is he going to drop? See, like, for example, commands, I can tell him to attack that medevac, and then move back there. That's another example of shift clicking. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, if you have a lot of minerals, that's probably evidence that you don't have enough production facilities. For example, when you go up to 2 base or 3 base, and you start mining from 3 different bases at once, your income is obviously going to increase a lot, okay? So if you're still sitting on 2 barracks after taking 3 bases worth of income at once, it's obviously not enough production to keep up with your money. You'll just be stockpiling money and money which isn't efficient. And like I previously said, it's not good to stack up all these queues. Like that's not good. And look at this. This is 200, 400 minerals total that could be used rather to add more barracks on. And like I said before, you just want one unit producing from each building. And I know I stopped doing this, but build workers constantly, okay? A good worker count for the end of the game is anywhere from 75 to 80, okay? That's a lot. That's 3 whole tabs of this at least. A couple more actually, which requires you to constantly be building workers. There should never be a time that you're not producing workers out of your original command center, nexus, hatchery, whatever. It all comes into that the concept of speed. Granted, you can get to 75 or 80 workers at some point, but you want to get them quickly in regards to time. You want to be able to have 75 to 80 workers at the 15 to 16 minute mark. Not even earlier than that. You should have it by, if you don't miss a worker, if you build an SCV, and then once that's done, build another one, and immediately when that's done, build another one, constantly, at all of your bases, however many you have. I actually don't know the time on it, but I'm pretty sure it's in between 15 and 20 minutes. Kind of the same time where you get maxed. And like I was saying at the very beginning, anyone can get 75 to 80 workers if they really want to. But the thing that makes you good is how quickly you can get 75 to 80 workers, which requires you to constantly build workers, just constantly. Also, I don't know if I touched on it or not. Oh man, this is getting deep. I don't know if I touched on it or not, but what was I going to say? I think this is actually going to kill me, which is funny, because medevacs are OP, tanks are strong, and I've been doing nothing. I haven't upgraded or anything. But basically, I swear I was about to say something like really important, but I can't remember it at all. Yeah, I don't know. That is all that I have. I'm pretty sure. That's all that I have on my notes. Also, something that will make you good, okay? There's all this mechanical stuff that you can do to actually improve yourself. Oh. But something you can do outside of Starcraft is actually... Let me get to my desktop and hide all this crap. Something that you can actually do outside of Starcraft is watch professional play. And I have no idea how this is doing. Okay, good. You can watch professional play, high ladder play, even tournament play will make you... Just watching that and seeing how they play. Like, I can play a game, and I can record it for you guys, and show you how I play, but I'm not even close to the highest level. So, sites that I use, for one is Twitch TV. This is probably the one I use the most. It has the most StarCraft activity, I'm pretty sure, ever since Destiny switched to League of Legends. If you go to Twitch TV, and you scroll down and go to StarCraft 2, just click on the giant StarCraft 2, you can see a bunch of different people, and just reading the titles, if they have a team in front of their name, they're probably good. And if they have a lot of viewers, they're probably good. That's what attracts people on StarCraft streams. And you just watch them. Just watch their gameplay and see how they play, and try to model yourself after that as much as you can. Now, obviously, it's hard to see like build timings and the like with just by watching them, because they're like cruising around. It's hard to follow. It really is.
Your eyes.
But excuse me. Just by watching them and see how they play, it really gives you an idea of how you can play to be a better player. So, watch Twitch TV, Starcraft streams, and also there's something else I want to give a shout out to. Um, he is very famous, but I will not give you guys the benefit of the doubt. His name is Day9, and he is a former StarCraft 1 professional player turned into a caster, and he also does dailies, which it's a lot. They're mainly focused on little newbies, mainly the lower leagues from like probably bronze to about platinum, I'd say, and sometimes higher. But it's definitely directed towards uh, lower league players, and he has 525 of these. These go back like 3-4 years, and this is actually not. I don't actually go to day9.tv. It's actually blip.tv/day9, I think, and you can see. No, that's not it. Let me find this. There's a. Here it is. And here's everything. Here's the episode archive right here. Um, starting with the ones that he just previously did. And look at this, 167 pages. You can go to 167 and watch the first daily that Day9 ever did. Ever. Day9 daily number 1. This is StarCraft 1. Okay? Like, that's nuts. If we go to like 100, let's see where we are. 341, that's actually pretty far. And you can actually, I think you can search these, and you can look up like, Terran. And you can look at Terran builds and how to play. Okay, that's StarCraft 1 again right there. But look, this is just super general Terran vs Protoss. These are probably you have to look at the date on them because things have changed a lot. But just look at everything that he has because he's really focused towards the lower leagues, the lower players, making them better, which I know is what you want to do since you're watching this video. So, Twitch TV, Day9, and everything that I taught you. Let me just go over everything again real fast, just to make sure, just to bring everything up in a concise manner. First, I talked about StarCraft 2 in general as speed being important. I'm going to bring this, never mind, as speed being important, both on a large scale with timings and in-game times. For example, I brought up the example of a 200-200 supply Terran. Grandmaster can get it. Actually, let me switch over here real fast. Grandmaster can get it really quickly, whereas a bronze player will take 45-60 minutes. That's not even accurate at all, but they'll take a lot longer. And how long-term or large-scale speed is extremely important, as well as low or small-scale speed, being quick with your actions, quick. Yeah, just quick on a smaller scale with your actions and how you play the game. I also briefly mentioned the correct way to begin a game, which is select your command center, nexus, hatchery, build your worker, follow that up with selecting your workers and bring them to the minimum patch. That is the most economic way you can do it. And of course, try to do that as quickly as possible. Yes. Also, we talked about hotkeys, how you want to learn all of the hotkeys for buildings and units within production facilities. For example, SCV is S, and to build a barracks it's BB, and just the importance of memorizing all of those keys to make you quicker with your keyboard. We talked about how terrible it is just to use your mouse because you will not be quick at all. So we talked about hotkeys, control groups. Excuse me. Control groups, making your units into control group 1, for example, making your production facilities like barracks into control groups, so you can be out on the map with your units and still be able to produce units without even looking back at your base. I think that's actually a tooltip on StarCraft 2 when you're loading. But I just want to reiterate the emphasis of how important that is. And also, I mentioned it a little later, but camera control groups, actually setting a location with your camera so that you can quickly return to the spot of your choice without actually selecting anything. And we talked about the difference between macro and micro, somewhat poorly at first, but I think I brought it together. Kind of talked about managing minerals and how you don't want a lot of minerals and gas you want to, and I actually didn't take gas at all in this game, which is important to take. I'll actually do like specific, a lot more specific things. I'll go over more specific things in later videos, like such as when to get certain buildings, how quickly to get them, and stuff like that for each race. But in this video, I just wanted to cover basic general mechanical things that you can do. So talk about minerals, and finally, last but not least, watch professional play on twitch.tv or day9.tv. I was using the blip.tv/day9tv, which I think is more concise. And that's about it for me, guys. Thanks for watching this whole entire thing if you did. Again, I'm sorry for the terrible mic quality. Hopefully I can fix that at Christmas or a little after. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more StarCraft 2 videos and a lot of other content, actually. Me and my friend Jesse are really cranking out stuff as of late. Content for this channel that is completely random. It's not going to be a one set thing. So subscribe for a lot of shenanigans. Thanks again, guys.